Hey guys, I know it's been a while since I've done a video about the Prius, so I'm just going to go ahead and give you a little bit of an update on what's going on here. I know I said I was going to take it out on the interstate and give it a whirl and show you that video, but I figure I'll just go ahead and tell you about it because honestly, me just sitting there driving, you're really not going to get the full experience because, well, you don't have control of the throttle. A couple things I'm going to go over real quick is the mileage. I've had the car for about a month now, and I've had time to fill it up 6 times now. And actually, let me go ahead and pull up something on my phone because I actually made a spreadsheet of it, so I would know what exactly I've got going on here. All right, let's see here. There we go. I'm going to rotate that this way. I'll pull it up for you. Alright, here you go. Let's see if that shows what we've got. Alright, it doesn't show what we've got, so I'll just go ahead and tell you while we're looking here. My average is, on my first tank I did 48.4, and then I did 48.2, then 51 miles to the gallon, and then 50.5 miles to the gallon, 50.8 miles to the gallon, and then 48.9 miles to the gallon. And and I'm driving it like it's a real car. Yes, I do start off a little bit slower, and I brake a little bit slower, just because I'm getting used to it, and actually because you just kind of have to. I mean, you notice that the miles per gallon actually changes up there in the center, and that kind of makes you accelerate and decelerate a little bit slower. My boss actually has the first generation Prius, and he speculates that I should be getting 60 miles to the gallon, whatever. He might get that. I don't do that pulse and glide crap. I just drive it like it's a regular car and just accelerate and decelerate a little bit faster or slower, depending on, just travel conditions or how I feel. That's not to say, I have made a trip that was like 5 miles and I did get 71 miles to the gallon, and I was doing about 50 miles an hour. So it is possible to get up there. I just don't care enough to actually try and change my driving habits that much to do it. But I am going to get into some of the modifications I have done to the car, just to give you a little update of what I've done. I had a brilliant idea actually after going on the forums that I could wrap my hood in vinyl. I'm not going to get out and show it to you. You're actually going to see it later. Yeah, it didn't happen. That was a disaster. I tried it twice. It failed miserably. I assume it's partly because I've never done something that huge before, and because there's a really big hump at the front of the hood, which kind of makes it kind of a pain in the ass. But I did take my leftover scrap and I did start wrapping other things. Like, you might be able to tell that I did do some carbon fiber wrap. It's just vinyl on my stereo and my instruments, like right there on my dash and all that. I also came down and wrapped, my gear selector, which really wasn't hard to take apart. And I also wrapped those buttons, and I do plan on putting something in where these 2 buttons are eventually, but I wanted to wrap them for the time being. I'll tell you, if you are a little intimidated about taking apart the car, there are almost no screws on the interior to take out. Actually, this pops off relatively easy. I'll show you real quick. This pops off that side, pops off this side here. If I had a bit of grip on it, there we go. And then actually you would just pull it on out. It actually just tucks in right under here, and you just slide it on out. It's relatively straightforward. And then up here, there's just a couple clips. I don't know if you can see them real quick. There's a clip here, then a clip back here, and same on the other side, and it just pops out. Then you pop it back together. You also have to take out the cup holders, which just rips straight out. And there's very little holding it together. Same thing with the dash. You would just apply a little bit of pressure. Let me get my knife out. So right about here, and it pops straight out. And you turn on the windshield wipers, no. But yeah, it pops straight out, just like that. And you just pull it right out, pop it right back in. You will need to disconnect this button, whatever it pops out, and then actually you can pull it straight forward so that you can wrap that correctly. This just kind of slides, stays put. I haven't taken that out yet. I am looking at taking it out. Actually on the forums, which are priuschat.com, I think. There's actually a lot of things you can do with these cars. One of the guys on there, who's very inspirational and very helpful, has gone ahead and he's changed the LEDs on his controls down here, and he's working on doing on a stereo to blue, which I've gone ahead and I've done the same. I've ordered them to try the same thing. So when those come in, if I do it, if it succeeds, I'll go ahead and I'll post a video about it. Maybe the deconstruction, maybe showing you how to do it. The LEDs, if you've never seen them before, are so freaking tiny, it's not even funny. And I mean really, really freaking tiny. Like, here we go, let me use my iPod as an example. You see that right there where it says pause play? The LEDs are about the size of the pause on the iPod. Yeah, tiny. So it's gonna be a real pain in the ass, but hopefully it won't be too hard. He's also changed out the LEDs on his instrument clusters right here, up here, and I'm gonna give that a whirl too, because I mean, worst case scenario, I burn out the lights. I don't really need them because it shows up right there on the screen, so I don't actually need the LEDs on this to know what the hell I'm doing. But if it works out, that'll be cool. I've also ordered some more vinyl wrap in different colors, just to get some samples. I'm thinking about maybe doing a blue vinyl wrap across the stereo, or maybe down in this area right here, wrapping that blue, or maybe silver. I don't really know yet. Same thing on this. Maybe blue, maybe silver. I don't know. I'm actually, when the samples come in, I'm going to actually take a look, hold them up against there. They'll be 2x2 inch, and that'll give me a good idea of what I want to do. I might also end up wrapping the exterior trim here, because it's the same type of stuff that was under here, so I might just do that. I might even do that too, just make it look like carbon fiber. That's about all I've done on the interior. I did actually just end up changing my horn from that little rinky-dink sounding piece of crap to a bad boy. But before I get to that, I just remembered one thing I wanted to do in here and show you. People that have the navigation display have a problem with the glare and everything. What you can do is go into Setup, General. Is it under General? No, it's not under General. My bad. It'll be a Setup, Display, General, and then you'll come on over here to Contrast. One of the guys on the forum was having issues with his, so he bumped the contrast all the way down. If you actually bump it all the way up, you'll actually notice it gets kind of darker and harder to see. So he bumped it all the way down, and then we went ahead and he also went ahead and made the brightness all the way up and pressed OK. And that should help out a little bit with the glare issue, so that you'll be able to see it a little bit better. But yeah, let me go out and I'll show you the horn real quick. And one more thing I did want to get into before I get out of there, this iPod connection. I don't know if anybody else is having the issue with it. Mine actually kind of sucks. And I've actually taken the stereo out, so it's a proprietary connection. So I'm actually looking at maybe getting a splitter and everything and taping it together, because if you wiggle this, it actually makes the iPod disconnect. And I'll show you real quick by swapping over to my iPod. And go over to my iPod. I'll play a little bit. As you can hear, it's playing. I jiggle the thingy. It disconnects. It skips a lot. So if you touch it, it just sucks. There's no real way around that except for thinking maybe putting a rubber band around that, or actually in there and just taping the connections together and getting a better connection for this port, or maybe having to come out underneath here somewhere. It's just a problem I'm gonna have to deal with. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a listen at that horn real quick. I'm actually going to have my wife go ahead and blow it for you. I'm gonna stand in my garage, so we've got a pretty good distance away. And then, yeah, as you can tell, that's relatively loud comparatively to what it used to be. A little rinky-dink, you know, horn that it had, and it was actually kind of easy to plug in. What you do is you actually have to go ahead and take the hood up, take the bumper off, which really isn't that hard, and there are actually just a number of like screws underneath the bumper that you can take off. There's actually a picture on the Prius chat forum. It's very straightforward, and you just take off the horn, splice 2 connectors on there. They'll be female connectors, and they'll just plug into the bottom of the horn. You don't even need the relay that comes with it, and it's very straightforward. Ooh, one more thing I did want to let people know, if you're still curious about it, these pedals are really freaking tiny, to the point of, here's my hand and that's the brake. Okay, now I'm a small man. I'm only about 5'7". Now I do kind of have some bigger hands because, well, I'm fat, but as you can see, I am palming the brake completely. And don't even get me started on the gas, which would fit in the palm of my hand if I could actually reach in there completely. You don't really notice it. It's just something I want to tell you. Now, I have taken this through some back roads on the way out on a trip for work, and the speed limit, I'll tell you, is around 35. And, well, nobody does that. I was hitting at about 60, and these are some pretty extreme curves and dips and whatnot. And car handles like a dream. I mean, it really does. It's kind of shocking that it's a Prius, but it is a small car, and it really does handle very well. And it is dirty as crap, so I need to wash it today. I also did a vinyl wrap on my license plate cover just so that I would have something to do with the extra vinyl I had. That should be about all I can think of right now. If I do anything else, or as I work on the LEDs or anything, I'll go ahead and I'll let you know and post up a video about it. Alright? Thank you.